And there was really a feeling of empowerment. And that was something that you see in the first 2 seasons of Sex and the City. You see this women like, they don't really care. They are out there. They're a team.
Welcome back to another episode of Girls Gotta Eat.
Welcome back. Last day of cancer season. The month.
I thought we were done.
What a month.
You've had a month. You've done so much.
It's been a whirlwind July.
It's been a month. And we just cleared up something pretty important.
Rayna thought I didn't tell her something because I was trying to spare her feelings.
For 2 months, I thought that you were keeping the secret to make sure that it just didn't hurt my feelings. I was into somebody and I thought he may have hooked up with a guy and I thought that you knew. And I thought you were trying to spare
Rayna, I say this with so much love. I'm never intentionally trying to hurt your feelings. I want to protect you. You're my best friend. You're family. I love you. If I knew that, I would have been at your door, 6 a.m., buzz. Time to get over this guy. I would have been there to console you, but I would have been busting in like the Kool-Aid man to share this. Your feelings wouldn't have been a concern.
For 2.5 months, I've been like, she knows, and it's this unspoken thing that she's like, I haven't asked, and so she hasn't offered the information.
I feel like you don't know me at all, and I wouldn't have been excited to share it, but it would have had to happen immediately. There wouldn't have been maybe she'll be upset. It would have been need to know info.
This thing has been hanging over me for months, for 10 weeks. I've been like, maybe she knows.
You're insane.
I'm glad we cleared this up. So
yeah, she thought a guy that she was into hooked up with my guy friend, who is gay.
Well, they stayed out all night.
They just stayed out all night. Listen, it could have happened, but I don't know about it. I actually would have loved it.
I would have loved it too. It would have freed me from a lot of anxiety.
From this prison you've been in. No, you're over it. You have a date tonight. We're going to talk about it.
Yeah, I do. And I went out with this other guy it's a whole thing.
Okay. Whole thing.
We have a new sponsor we're excited about. This episode is sponsored by Mudwater, a coffee alternative with 4 adaptogen mushrooms and Ayurvedic, I almost was going to get it right, Ayurvedic herbs. To get 15% off your order, go to mudwtr.com/GG and use code GGE at checkout. And thanks to HelloFresh for supporting Girls Gotta Eat. Go to HelloFresh.com/GGE50 and use code GGE50 for 50% off plus free shipping.
Yes, and thanks to Article for supporting Girls Gotta Eat. Article combines the curation of a boutique furniture store with the comfort and simplicity of shopping online. Article is offering you $50 off your first purchase of $100 or more. Go to article.com/GGE. And we'd like to thank Nutrafol for supporting Girls Gotta Eat. Nutrafol is the #1 dermatologist recommended hair growth supplement, clinically shown to improve visible thickness and strength. Go to Nutrafol.com and enter the promo code GGE to save $10 off your first month subscription plus free shipping on every order.
I sound a little boy crazy, but listen, Ashley has a boyfriend and I gotta get some stuff in the mix.
What's going on with you today? You don't sound boy crazy? 2 dates?
You're in love with one guy. And I was like, so out to the other guy too last week. Probably not a date.
Probably not.
Probably not.
Probably not. No, the real date's tonight. It's National Orgasm Day.
Oh, yeah.
July 31st.
And we have a special little treat to give you while you're giving yourself some treats today.
Yes, we have the threesome bundle, which is all of our OG vibes only vibrators, the Ashley, the Rayna, and the Gigi, usually priced at $300, $299, but you can get them all for $249. So you can get all 3 for under $250 today only. Check our Instagram, vibesonly.com, and that's your little treat. That's really the ultimate way to give yourself an orgasm as we round out July. So happy National Orgasm Day. And we have Candace Bushnell on the show today, who truly we feel like is responsible for our whole careers, our whole lives. She is the original Carrie Bradshaw, the creator of Sex and the City, and I don't know if a lot of people really know that. You know what I mean? Like they know the name. They're like, yeah, an author, whatever. But she truly is responsible for it.
I feel that she is responsible for the fact that you and I get to sit here and talk about vibrators. Seriously. It's like normalized for women like you and I to talk about this stuff.
Right. Like it would have happened eventually, but like that show, you know, we talk about this in the interview. I watched it in college. You probably watched it around the same time. Like it just changed my life forever. And, you know, it continues to be so wonderful. And we talked about And Just Like That, which I will say, we've shared our feelings on it. I've liked the last 2 episodes more.
Okay.
So there was just a couple in a row that I was like, vom. And now I'm liking it a little bit more. So anyway,
credit where credit's due.
Yeah, and hope you guys enjoy the interview.
To like go back to what you were saying about the vibrators. So every vibrator we have is for like a different vibe for every vibe we have. So we have like the partner tool, which is the GG. You can like wear it in your panties on a date. And then we have the Ashley wand, which I like is a solo toy or to put on a show.
Yeah.
And then there's the Rayna, which to me is like, listen, any vibrator can be a shared vibrator if you want it to be. But the Rayna to me, because as the clit sucker, is really like a special night at home solo kind of toy for me.
Yeah.
And it's just so intense, and I don't need to involve another person in this experience.
Yeah.
So our friend, I sent her a Rayna, and her boyfriend are like so into like the blow gel, the lube, they love all this stuff. But she said that they were like hooking up the other night, and he was like, "Do you have the Rayna on the bedside table?" And she was like, "Don't call it that. Don't ever say that to me while we're
so
naked
funny.
together."
Yeah.
It just really made me laugh because it's like, yeah, if it was one of my really good friends, I wouldn't want to hear their name while I was like close to O.
Well, also, here's how you cheat the system of our company. You can buy, you could get the package, you could just gift 2 of them. Keep them in the bank till Christmas, whatever. Just kidding. You're going to want the new shit we have for Christmas. We were on a call today. We have so much new fun stuff coming, including a new color, very Barbie-esque in one of our most popular toys. So we just have a lot coming. But yeah, I mean, I think it's like, grab these at a heavy discount and save 1, gift the other 2, save all 3, give 1 to your mom, your boyfriend, your cousin.
And last thing I'll say about Vibes Only is we have an app that connects to all the toys, and we do have a free trial if you want to just get in there and check it out. It has erotic audio content. It has great how-to videos for how to suck a dick better or finger better or use toys in the bedroom with your partner. We have a remote control. That is free always with any toy that you buy, and you can control your partner's toy with a subscription. But get into the app, free trial, Vibes Only, and it's really fun to play around with.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's talk about your date.
Okay. So it's tonight. As we're speaking, I'm in Italy, obviously, if you guys have been following along. But I have a date tonight with Dallas business card guy.
Did we like short out the soundboard? No, I am so excited. I have been pushing for this.
You have.
If you've been around, you know Dallas business card guy. Met him at a show. I met my boyfriend at a show.
We literally only meet people we date at shows.
Yeah, I mean, my relationship is a result of this show. So.
Yeah. My relationship?
So I want yours to be too, is my point.
I absolutely, all my relationships are a result of this show, honestly. And so he's here for a while, for a couple weeks, and I'm going to plan tonight. So I was thinking the Proper, which is a hotel in Santa Monica that is a great rooftop bar, or Elefante, which is a restaurant down the street, a indoor-outdoor kind of bar situation. Both have dinner. So I was trying to decide which I want to do first, bar first or dinner first.
You're going to do both?
Maybe. What do you think?
That was tough.
I don't necessarily need to have a whole night out. I might just want to have like a couple drinks and a snack. He was like, I want to get dinner. And
I know.
was like,
I have the
don't
answer.
wanna do
I have the
that.
answer. It's going to be Elefante. It's just a better vibe for someone visiting out of town. You have the view.
Okay.
When we went there for the 4th, which they had an amazing party on the 4th, that's where we saw Ariana Madix. And I can't remember if we talked about this in the podcast. All those people were there from Vanderpump.
Katie Maloney and all those people.
Yeah. So I remember like sending a photo to my boyfriend. I don't want to just keep saying that word. And he was like, that looks like so dope. You know, like that's not the same vibe as the Proper. I love the Proper, but like we had a view. It's just a better vibe. And I think for a dude too.
Great.
You know, like dudes are just a little less bougie. They don't appreciate that hotel experience as much. Like I just think Elefante is going to be the move.
So I was wondering, like, should I do Elefante? And so I think if that's great and we like everything, then we can go to a rooftop bar at a hotel. But also, I'm concerned about which one of those is going to be more empty, and I think it'll be the Proper. So, like, I'm not trying to go to a date at a bar that's like an empty space. I want like a huge vibe.
I feel like Elefante is always popping off. I was there after a comedy show on a Tuesday, and I was there at close, and there was still plenty of people. It was still a vibe.
They own places in New York as well, so it's a bigger restaurant group. If you
Doing
guys
an ad
ever
for them
come
now?
here?
Wish you were here, hospitality. But it is all our favorite places. So it's Ruby's in New York, which
Great brunch spot.
we've
for
had
you
like,
guys.
I feel like important meetings there. Dudley's.
Okay. You guys always want Rex. Those are great brunch spots in New York.
They're Elefante here. And then there's other places too.
Bell's.
But Bell's Beach House and Evely, which
Emily for dinner in West Hollywood.
Emily's like my go-to spot in West Hollywood.
love it.
I can always get in. The hostess there like knows the show and she's so great, but usually just there are tables and like you can sit at the bar. I went there on a date recently and that's like the place that I chose to go. And it was just always a vibe. The back. What are we doing here?
I don't know. People want like Rex somewhere to go. And I also was wondering like just vibe. Like I can't decide if I want to like go out to dinner first or go to a bar first, but I'm going dinner then bar if I feel like going to the bar. But maybe I'll just feel like coming back here. Because I'm done waiting for this, okay? I'm ready to get it popping.
Get
Like a year and a half.
Poppin'. It's on poppin'. I can't wait. Someone's gonna pop
Fucking better.
his knee. No, he's not like old or anything. That would be me. My knee is fucked up.
We were talking about our knees and how they're getting old yesterday.
Well, what was it? Did we read this on the podcast? The embarrassing sex stuff episode. Did that one girl say she coughs when she like gets on top because her knee pops?
Her knee clicks. Yeah.
Mine clicks. Yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna get it worked out. I'm going back to hand and orthopedics and figure out what the fuck is going on in here.
It looks great.
It looks great.
I'm picking up what you put down.
It does look good.
Speaking of your relationship, do you want to talk about what you did this weekend?
Yes. So this weekend, I guess like it would be 2 weekends ago now, but I did go to Delaware and went to Dewey Beach and my man came and he met the family, met my parents, my brother, Steph, Jay, and Corey, who is like my best childhood friend and he was still best friend, but Corey and her husband and then our friend Lee and Laura actually. So he met that whole group of those 3 girls and then Corey's husband Ham. And it was so sad you weren't there because they're like your friends too, but we're going in August. So
I would be shitting my pants if I was him. I told you the first time I went to Dewey and I had to like meet the whole family. It's just like somebody means a lot to you. You're like, I want everybody to like me. I would be shitting my pants.
He did great. If he was like nervous, I couldn't tell. You know, I picked him up at the airport in the Xterra.
Did you have sex in the Xterra?
No, we didn't have sex in the Xterra. We're both tall. Like we were kind of talking about the car sex thing, and we were like, I don't know,
It's for little
just
people,
not for us.
Yeah, okay.
But like, what I would never do ever would be like set up some giant like dinner with everybody or something. Like he met everybody in increments, like over 3 days, right? Like it was just kind of like we stopped at my parents' house. He met them briefly, walked around the farm, saw my dad's auto body shop. He was like, whoa, because he's like a car guy.
Was your dad riding the big boy around?
No, I am actually so bummed that when we pulled up, my dad wasn't on the big boy.
So Lee has this like, what is it? Like a tractor, a lawnmower that he rides.
He has tractors and stuff too, but this is his heavy duty lawnmower.
And he's always just like somehow just right in the front, just popping wheelies, figure eights with a hat on.
Yeah. So like every time Rayna's like pulled up to the farm, he's like doing donuts in the front yard just to impress you.
Me.
Yeah. So he met my dad, met my mom. He thinks my mom is so funny, like without trying to be. He's like, her personality is just like so funny. And then we head down to the beach. We stopped at Matt's and, you know, saw Jay and then went out that night with Matt's friends and went to see the Warped Tour cover band at the Cork, which was incredible.
That emo band made me like, I want to go see
I
that.
was so obsessed. Like they did 2 opening bands, a Blink-182 cover band and a Green Day cover band. And then they had the Warped Tour band and they did everything, you know, like Yellow Card and Blink. And it was so fun. And so we had such a good time. And then the next day he met Corey and everybody really just loved him. Okay. Like everybody just thinks he's like chill and laid back and like easy to be around and fun to talk to. And it went great. I knew that he would love Dewey and like understand why I love it so much, why everybody loves it so much. And it is my favorite place on earth. Like there was no doubt in my mind that he wouldn't love it, but just seeing just how much he like gets it. And also being with me and Matt, like it's a different experience. You know, we go to brunch at Starwood on Sunday. Like we can't even get 5 minutes without people stopping by the table. Matt used to work there forever. He still moonlights sometimes, but you know, everybody's stopping by. It just feels like such a family, like small town. Everybody knows each other vibe. It was so great. We got to go into Rehoboth and like walk around there. And I just feel like it's just like this place that I love so much. And I'm so glad that I got to like bring you there and now you go every summer at least once. But just to have like my partner really see it and like walk holding hands down the avenue and go to dinner and drinks and be on the water. It's just so nice. So it's like an experience that I haven't had in like a while. And I'm with somebody now that's like so much better for me. And it was just so great. And I have to tell you, we stayed in this motel, and I want to be so clear that it's a motel. And like Dewey doesn't have nice hotels as it is. Rehoboth doesn't even really. Like it's just not that kind of vibe. But Dewey, there's like none. Like the Hyatt place is like kind of nice, but there's no sort of luxury about it. So whatever, like we'll do Airbnbs, we'll rent like nice condos and houses. We're doing a house in August, whatever. But this got planned kind of last minute. So I just kind of took what I could get. And we stayed at the Bay Resort Motel. I mean, what a different vibe from Cabo. I was like, we are coming off
We can make it here. We can make it anywhere.
Yes, like coming off of this villa mansion in Cabo to this motel. It had a kitchenette. Stefan made us this gift bag of like food, and he goes, let's put the food in the kitchen. Like it was insane. Like we shared like a shitty little kitchenette. We shared the tiniest bathroom. I was like, we're not hooking up in that shower. He was like, no, I know. Like it was so tiny. It wasn't gross. It was just old and like kind of beat up. And it's not like a fancy place. Our balcony overlooked the bay, which was nice. But we were just like, we have really
Fallen from grace.
You know, where we stayed in New York and all this stuff. And to be in this motel and then have our first sharing a tiny bathroom experience.
Oh, how was that?
It was fine.
Was there a lobby bathroom?
No.
They don't have that in the
There's
motel.
no lobby.
There's no lobby in a motel.
Have you been?
Where did you take shits? Be honest. He probably listens. You don't want to talk about it.
We talked about it a little bit. I'm not a person that wants to talk about like pooping, farting in a relationship. I don't do that. I don't think
Absolutely
it's
not.
cute. And if you do, I think that's great also. Like
I don't want to do it.
right,
It's not for
but-
me. Great. Do you?
I have no judgment. I think that some couples are into that and it's fine. It's not for me, but we kind of talked about it and I had like said, I was like, I already did. And he was like, what? I was like, don't worry about me. And he was like, what are you talking about? And I was like, you don't know how to take a shit with someone in the.
I don't.
You go before the shower. You just run the shower
poop
and
loud.
go.
You can hear it over the.
No, you can't hear it over the shower, Rayna. And then another thing I did, little.
You don't know about how I poop. You don't stay in hotels
What
with
are
me.
you doing? You're just like gunshot diarrhea in there. Rayna, come on.
The Greenbergs drop off big loads in the morning, okay? And
Yeah,
that's
but you're
just how
not,
we
like,
are.
Like, it's not the
The
volume.
fear is there.
Okay. You just fart a bunch. Like a big load doesn't have to be loud. It's the plop is
Listen,
not
I
going to be.
am an. I poop every day. Poop as soon as I get up. Then I make coffee. Then I poop again. Sometimes it's loud.
Okay. I mean, listen, a shower is loud. You can also run a faucet. You can do the fan if there's
Also,
a fan
people
in
know
there.
that I don't shower that much. We're going to turn the shower on
That's
every
true.
morning.
You actually don't ever get in the shower.
I
That'd
have-
be so funny. I actually had an ex that would do that. He would go into the bathroom, turn on the shower, and not shower. He would just poop, and he would walk out. I'm like, what did you do? He's in the same clothes.
There's no plausible deniability with me. Sometimes, once in a blue moon, I can make it up and be like, I just sat down. I was just enjoying the steam, and I just changed my mind.
That is hysterical.
But like, if I turn on the shower, then I'm committed to showering, which I'd never want to do.
Okay. I gotta say, I'm having a lot of sex. I'm showering more.
That's true.
Like in Cabo,
yeah.
and there's just more, at least 2 a day. You're just like fucking, you're sweating, you know.
Yeah.
Okay, fluids. And then I did something else risky. Packed night at the Starboard Saturday.
What'd you do?
I dropped a deuce in the Starboard.
What?
In like
That
the
secret private
the
bathroom?
secret bathroom. And then, I'm not going to tell you where it is, but there is a secret bathroom that we know about. It's always less of a line. A couple people know about it. It's still visible. There was one girl in front of me, but then as I waited, more people came behind me, and I was like, I'm just going to do it. Like, if I'm in
That
there,
door flings open. The whole bar can see you.
that's not it. It was just that like I'm only one person and I'm in there.
Right.
If I am in there really long, it smells like they know it's me. And I was like, I'm going for it. And it was quick in and out.
Saturday night poop at a bar. That's luxurious.
I hope he's not listening.
You just went back out and grinded on the floor together after you just like dumped some stuff out.
I mean, I got my poops in. It really wasn't an issue.
poops
So I feel
in.
like we've crossed this hurdle as a couple.
That's
We
amazing.
can share a tiny bathroom. And you know what I don't like? I just like dudes, they got to get in and out of the shower, in the bathroom. What are you doing in there? Have you ever been with somebody that just takes too long? It's like, what were you doing in there?
Shitting.
I guess so. I guess that's the
That's-
whole thing.
Yeah,
Right,
with-
because guys take such long shits.
In March, when I was in Miami with my ex, he just got up every morning like 8 a.m. and took a shower. And I was like, I know what you're doing. No one's showering at 8 a.m. Let's have sex. Get back in the bed.
Yeah, I guess I don't take that long to poop.
Yeah, it's an emergency in the morning when I wake up. It's just one quick shot and I'm done.
Okay. Well, I will say that I feel like at the beginning of this relationship, I was like such a bad bitch. I was like, I'll do long distance forever. Whatever, it'll be great. Now I'm like,
At the
no,
beginning, 2 months ago, you were like, you really wore me down. It's been 10 weeks.
No, like when this started, I was just like, this is fine. I can do this. And now, 2 months in, we're serious and I don't love this. I miss this person. I don't want to do this forever. So whatever.
Totally.
I'm just like, it does change. You're like, this is fine. Like, this will be great. We'll travel and we'll have, distance makes the heart grow fonder. And then you like really get into it. And it's just like, oh no, I miss him. This sucks. I'm not the bad bitch I thought I was.
Listen, I'm the queen of long distance relationships. I've done a ton of them. When you really love somebody, you just like miss them so much. Like my ex that lived in LA and I lived in New York, like when I wouldn't see him for more than like 10 days, I was like, I'm going to die. Like used to the level of sex that you're having and intimacy and like to have it and have it taken away, Of course, there's great things about it. Like absence makes the heart grow fonder, but you sort of switch back and forth between your identities. You're like, I'm this person with a partner. No, I'm not. I'm this person who has to consider somebody else all the time. No, I don't.
Yeah.
And it's hard to sort of weave in and out of the two all the time.
It is an interesting dynamic. Like I was saying to him, I'm like, we've always only spent the night together ever. There's no like go on a date, go home to your own bed, like it's not a hot take, but I haven't done this in such a long time. You have, but I haven't. And it's going great. But this will be the longest that I won't see him. This will be 1 full month, which was just kind of hard to digest. Like it was 2 weeks and it was 2 weeks for that. And then it was 3 weeks. Like it's been like a 3 week, 2.5 week max. And like a month is long. It sucks.
Yes, it sucks and it's really hard. We want to do a long distance relationship episodes. We'll do a whole one. But I made some rash decisions 2 years ago in August because I just missed my ex so much. I was like, you should move in with me.
That is not what I thought you were going to say. I thought you were going to say like, I just up on a whim, flew across the country, which also is fine to do. It's just we're both super busy over the next month anyway, but I did not know you were going to go there.
Yeah, exactly. 2 years ago in August, on the heels of a Dewey trip, I was just like, you should move in with me. Just do it. And it didn't really work out very well.
Yeah.
He did move in with me for a little bit. But yeah, I mean, you just miss the person so much and it's the most all or nothing thing because you are so entangled for like multiple days in a row and it's just like I wake up with you, I go to sleep with you, I wake up with you, I go to sleep with you. Like every second of the day is with that person. It's fun, it's nice, and then it's just all taken
ripped
away.
Again, I have not done this with the type of relationship that this is. You know what I mean? Like it's serious, whatever. So that is the craziest part. It is all and nothing. And we're FaceTiming, we do all the things, we talk nonstop, but like it is kind of crazy. You're just like wrapped around this person for 2 to 4 days and then it's like bye and you're like it's like withdrawal.
You weirdly get closer and like weirdly more intimate with somebody than if it was just like I see them 3 days a week. Listen, I like in-person relationships too. They're great. But long distance relationships, you have to like work harder to communicate. And I find that those communications are so deep. Like you're on the phone for hours with somebody and you can't have sex or take pauses or watch TV or one person's in the other room. Like you are fully engaged with another person for an hour plus every day. And how many of us ever get that?
Yeah.
And then for long periods of time, like never get 1 second away from each other. So for like 4 days, you're just engulfed with each other. It does weirdly like speed up a relationship because it's like extreme amounts of intimacy.
Yeah, all of it's extreme. Extreme when you're together and extreme like missing each other when you're apart, like all that kind of stuff. Yeah, so it drives you to do crazy stuff. Like being like, you just move in.
We should move in together.
I was like, I don't know, Rayna. And you're like, it'll be fine. I'm not like you.
I was like, I'll be fine. No shade to him. I'm uptight. He was there for like 1 week and I was like, I don't know how his ex dealt with this. And you were like, your boyfriend? You don't know how his ex dealt with your boyfriend.
That conversation took a minute to really set in how fucking hysterical that was.
Not to me. I was like, am I really complaining about this? And honestly, just so you know, I fought tooth and nail every day that week to not bring it up. Day 7, I was vomiting up the information. I took a whole week to be like, don't say it, how annoyed you are. It'll go away.
That is so, I don't know how his ex dealt with this. Your boyfriend, you mean?
She divorced him. That's how she dealt with it.
All right, let's take a break. So we are in the thick of summer, but that doesn't mean that it's too late to revamp your outdoor space or your indoor space even. We've just been outside nonstop. Rayna and I mean, once like summer has hit in LA, we like can't be outside enough. And the thing is, at least where I live, it's different weather in West Hollywood versus Venice, but it's like super hot during the day. And then as soon as the sun goes down, it's like the most perfect weather. Like you were over yesterday. We were just sitting on my patio furniture, a cool breeze.
6 different times you're like, you want to go in? I was like, no.
Well, we were outside.
I like this furniture.
Yeah. But you were like squinting, you have sunglasses, you were back to your old ways, just getting sunburn on your face. No sunscreen, no skincare. So we just want to be outside. You know, Rayna and I both talked about like falling asleep on our patio furniture, just what a luxury. And we both love Article so much. I was saying recently that I have that like long lounger for outdoor, and we have stuff inside as well. I am looking on their website now, and you can get, you know, your full outdoor couch, your chairs, and then also like little side tables and stuff like that, which is super cute. And then they do the covers as well, the furniture covers for weather and whatnot. And really just a lot of the stuff is even indoor, outdoor. So there's a world in which you could get something and it can go both inside your house or outside. You can move it around, do whatever you're going to do. Oh, this is on sale now. This mural chaise lounge that's on sale. It's like a last chance buy. And we love their sofas. Everything is so comfortable. And they really believe in delightful design for every home. So their online only model really allows them to keep their prices down. And we really just think the prices are so great for what you get. They have mid-century modern, coastal, industrial, Scandinavian, boho designs. So you can find whatever you want, whatever your style is. And then we love that they show you on their site how to style different things. You can see how people have decorated their home with photos from Instagram. And so you can also just get inspo if design isn't really your thing, which is not mine. I often look at like the pictures that they have on their site so I can know how to put this stuff in and outside my home. So we have a discount for you. Article is offering our listeners $50 off your first purchase of $100 or more. To claim, visit article.com/GGE, and the discount will be automatically applied at checkout. That's article.com/GGE for $50 off your first purchase of $100 or more.
Yes, and our newest partner, which I'm excited to talk about, is Mudwater, which is a coffee alternative with 4 adaptogen mushrooms and Ayurvedic herbs. With only a fraction of the caffeine as a cup of coffee, you get energy without the jitters or the crash. So I really like this product. I'm so happy it's here in my house right now because especially after I had surgery recently, I took a break from coffee for about 2 weeks and I had 1 cup and it made me really like nauseous from like the jitters. And I really wanted an alternative and I started to drink the Mudwater and I just love it because it doesn't give you as much jitters as like a cup of coffee, and coffee just started making me really jittery. And
you hear that
each
a lot.
ingredient inside of it is added for a purpose. So I'll just tell you guys about some of it. Cacao and chai for mood and a hint of caffeine, lion's mane to support focus, cordyceps to help support physical performance, chaga and reishi. You guys, am I doing okay?
Every
It's
word
the
is
word
said
chaga?
with a question.
Coffee, chaga, and reishi to support your immune system, and cinnamon for antioxidants. Also, Mud is Whole30 approved, 100% USDA organic, non-GMO, gluten-free, vegan, and kosher certified, and there's no sugars and artificial sweeteners added. So you can add a little bit of honey, oat milk. That's how I like to drink it. I love the packaging it comes in. It just looks great. And long before they were a partner, I've had multiple friends tell me how much they love this as a coffee alternative. Absolutely. So you guys should check it out. To get 15% off your order, go to mudwtr.com/GGE and use the code GGE at checkout. That's mudwtr.com/GGE with code GGE at checkout for 15% off your order. Well, speaking of me being uptight, I had a house guest this weekend. I want a smaller house. I would like a bedroom and nothing else. I think I'm going to turn my bedrooms into like an office. I'm gonna get rid of the extra beds.
What?
Nobody can stay with me. My dad was here this weekend. It was really special to me that he came out because my dad is 76. It's harder to travel, and there's no direct flights from Pittsburgh, so he had to really travel like all day to get here. And it was just really nice to spend the weekend with him. I knew you weren't going to be here, so it was nice for me because I knew I was going to have FOMO of like other stuff going on.
Well, I did get to see him for a minute.
I was really glad that he got to see you. You stayed at my house while I went to the airport and cooked a whole meal. You are constantly, I was saying to you, finding things in my house I didn't even know I had.
I told Rayna today where her strainer went. She pulled the strainer out of the
And the
dishwasher and was
mixing
like,
bowl.
where does this go? I was like, it goes in that bottom drawer. Like, that is so funny. So we were here all day the Wednesday before I left to go to Delaware, and we recorded and we did 2 full ass interviews, whatever. But then I was taking a red eye out that night, and yeah, you went to pick him up, and I still had like another hour or 2 to go. We got to cross over when you got back from picking him up before I went to the airport, and I got to hang out with him. I was so glad.
I was like, listen, Ashley's really upset you didn't text her on her birthday. So first thing I need to do when you walk in the house, wish her happy birthday. He was like, happy birthday.
Yes, while you were gone, I made this whole pasta, and I thought you guys were going to eat it, but you had dinner plans, and then the next day, you said your dad was like elbow deep in the pasta.
We had a bunch of work meetings, and every 5 minutes he came downstairs, opened up every cabinet in the fridge, and I was like, there's still nothing there, buddy. Still nothing. And then he found your pasta, and he was just like, pinch your fingers deep in this pasta. I'm like, there's forks all over this place.
Soulmate.
Just get a fork. You love a pinch your finger.
Well, we were on the phone, we were on a call, and I heard you say, There's nothing in that fridge for you. I was like, the pasta, Bill. I made you that pasta yesterday.
I was like, no,
You're
don't
like,
worry. He's already in it.
Okay, what did you guys do?
What do? I followed him around the house while he left every toilet seat up. He left every chair pulled out, every light on, the exhaust fan on. It's chaos. It's like you're trying to fuck my house up. I don't even know how you can push a chair that far out into the middle of the room. Like, you're 2 feet tall. Like, do you need that much clearance between you and the counter?
Well, we have a rule now. You can't be a man staying in our home unless you're fucking us.
So I fucked my dad.
What position? So, because you've had these guy friends stay with you and you complain every time.
I never stop complaining.
The way that Jeremy left that comforter on the floor.
Chaos. And he left a towel just thrown onto a ladder.
It's just, why does this keep happening to you? Like, I would never.
People aren't afraid of me
A
enough.
guy friend, I have so many guy friends. They would never stay with me in my home. I guess you just have all this room.
Yeah.
It's your fault.
It's my fault. I
Yeah.
don't want to live here anymore. I should make them stay in the studio. Should be like, there's a couch in there. You stay there. Yeah, I'm uptight. I don't want people fucking with my space. I don't want to come downstairs and have all this noise and trash everywhere. If you ask my dad what we did, he would say I followed him around pushing in chairs and putting toilet seats down. But I don't know, learn how to behave in somebody else's home.
Your dad doesn't put the toilet seat down. He hasn't learned. Hasn't he had 3 wives?
No. I don't understand it. He didn't respect the last wife, so I understand.
He was doing it on purpose. It was a learned behavior that he unlearned for her.
Which is fine. He had his own bathroom upstairs. It was fine. You can leave the toilet seat up, do whatever you want. But the downstairs bathroom is a community bathroom. Yeah. And you got to put the toilet seat down. But we did a lot. We went out to dinner a bunch. We went to this really famous Jewish deli. It's been around for like 70, 80 years called Langer's in Westlake. It smells so good. We ordered 8 items off the menu. Latkes and pastrami sandwich, pastrami omelet. We had smoked fish. So that was really fun. I knew he really liked that.
What's it similar to? Is it like, what's it called in New York?
Katz's.
Or what's the other one?
Carnegie Deli is not open anymore.
No, the other one.
Stage Deli.
No, the other.
Russ and Daughters.
I knew you'd get that.
How Jewish am I? The other one. Bus. Another club. Bus.
No sleep.
I know all of them. Try me. Russ and Daughters has like a case that you order from, and they have a sit-down restaurant.
The sit-down restaurant there. My mom and I went there. Not Jewish, just if you're new here, but it was like one of the best meals. Like we ordered a ton of shit too. Like we had a huge spread of food.
Theirs is a little more modern and like looks more beautiful. This is like this is
kind
old
of
school Jewish.
Okay,
but I loved it. That was really fun. And then our friends were having like a happy hour, and so he came with me and just like hung out. And he was taking pictures with like Sam and Jackie, and it was really cute.
I love that.
It was just nice. He was a really good sport. I took him out to Malibu. Oh my God.
You did?
Okay. I took him out to Malibu for dinner. So if you guys...
Where'd you go to dinner?
I'm going to tell you this whole fucking story. It's the most dad story.
Party bus. No sleep. No boo. Club. Another club. No boo.
Soho House. So Malibu is about a 30, 35 minute drive without traffic from my house. Yeah. And I was like, you'll really like it. It's a beautiful drive. And then there's all these gorgeous restaurants. And I was like, there's this fish shack, this like Hawaiian place. He's like, no. I was like, we go to Nobu, which is like a famous sushi place. No, I don't like Nobu. I was like, we go to Soho House. He's like, nope, too fancy.
I don't like Nobu.
Bill
Greenberg.
Yeah. It's not about the money. I was paying. I mean, just doesn't want it.
Not for me.
I was like, okay, we can go to this fish shack. No, I want a real restaurant. Okay, great. So we
I like don't see this side of him. Like he's so cool and laid back, and you tell me these stories. I'm like, I don't believe you.
He's so cute. If I told him this is what we're doing, he would deal with it, but he would pout the whole time. He's not an asshole like my mom would be about it. She'd be like, if I'm not having fun, no one's having fun. My dad only eats like 3 foods. It's like omelets, Campbell's chicken noodle soup,
my pasta, HelloFresh
pasta if it's an emergency. Cheeseburgers and omelets are the only thing he eats with like a bucket of mayonnaise. He doesn't believe in eating vegetables or fruit. He ate a fruit the other day. He told me. That's how significant it was. I ate a piece of fruit.
Oh my God.
And he ran on the beach every day. Every morning I dropped him off and picked up my dad.
I could have spotted him now that I've seen him run. Because he's so on a hotel treadmill.
So I drove him out to Malibu. I was like, you'll love the sunset, whatever. He complained the whole way out there that he hates drives. Just doesn't like drives. Not a fan of drives.
He's like, things I don't like. Driving. Most foods. Fruits.
The sunset. The sun was in his eyes. He really hated it. And he's so short. The visor in the car. I was like, Dad, you can raise the seats on the Jeep, okay? Just raise the seat up and then the visor will help you with the sun. So I was like, we'll go to Malibu Farms. That'll be beautiful. It's not the greatest menu in the world, but it's right on the ocean. It's like unobstructed views all the way south and north. And I figured he would love that. So we went, we got seated. There's flies inside the restaurant. He didn't want that. We went outside. The outside, it was cold. So I was like, you got to pick. Flies are cold. Which one? So we sat outside. Beautiful views. There's a huge menu of stuff. I ordered like a kale Caesar I've been eating all day with a piece of grilled fish. And he ordered this grilled fish with like bok choy and slaw and whatever. The fish comes, he takes one look at it and he goes, I don't want this. And I was like, what? And he goes, what's under it? Potatoes? And I was like, bok choy. And my dad's from Pittsburgh. He doesn't know what fucking bok choy is. Yeah. And he's like, I'm not going to get this. And I was like, what do you want me to do about this now? And he's like, I want to leave. And I want to go somewhere else. And then he goes, I know you're going to talk about this on the podcast about how annoying I was. And I was like, well, you're being annoying.
Oh my God.
So we boxed up our food. He refused to eat and we paid. And then I drove him to a fish shack on the side of the road on the way back called the Real Inn, which I'm obsessed with. But they were closing in 5 minutes. We were the only people in there.
Oh my God. No vibe.
The opposite of a vibe. No music. No one in there. They're like, we're trying to close this up, sir. And he ordered fish and chips.
Happy as a clam.
Happy as a clam. Couldn't have been happier.
Oh my God.
I was like, this was available to you on the way out. It's just such a dad thing. And you're just like, I don't know, what can I do about this? You're a million years old.
Well, it's giving like mom. That's more mom energy.
Yes.
The like constant, like, I mean, I feel like dads are supposed to be chill, easy, go with the flow.
He's chill. Like, again, he's not going to make me miserable.
Yeah.
So that's fine. I mean, I also was like, you're here for 3-4 days. I want you to be happy. So on my way back from Malibu, my neighbor was like, do you want to come meet me at a bar? And I normally would have been like, my dad's in town. And I was like, absolutely, I will come meet you at a bar. Let me just drop off this old man.
You stayed
I
out
kicked him
all
out of the
night.
car. I did. Stayed out all night. It was fun. We had fun. If I'm looking at him, I'm having fun.
Okay.
So we went to a bar and then, I don't know, it's not a club, but it was like a dance thing. We like to play Who Would You Fuck in This Bar that's not me. So
I love that. I was on the edge of my seat for updates.
Yeah, we didn't
from the
hook up.
motel.
We don't hook up.
I was just like checking my text from the motel.
motel. Was the
Is
Wi-Fi okay?
Is she up yet? I didn't even try the Wi-Fi. I was just on my 5G. I was like, there's no chance. I had to do something on my computer. I was like, I'm going to connect to the hotspot.
But it was nice. I am glad that he came out here. And like on a more serious note, I do realize he's like aging and I'm in the phase of my life where I have to start to be a little more patient. Mm-hmm. Like I remember my parents getting really irritated with my grandparents all the time because they're like walking slow or they're not like as sharp as they used to be. My dad works full time and he runs. I mean, he's as sharp as it can be at that age, but I am noticing like some little things and I noticed myself getting like a little irritated and I was just catching my tone because it's amazing that he still works full time, that he can like do all the things he does and be as agile. And I just had to have some self-talk being like, okay, he's not your age.
Yeah. I mean, my parents, you know, I mean, they are still like so youthful and so cool and they're moving around and they have a lot of energy and all of that. But it's just like they are in their 70s, you know, the young 70s. And sometimes I notice that too. And it is just like a matter of patience, you know, like at the DC show, remember they called me, I mean, we're trying to get ready to do the show and they called me and they're like, we don't know where to go. Like how, you know, they came off the street. It was like raining outside and they're just like flustered and like, they don't know what to do energy. And you want to think your parents are just like so capable and they're the ones that like walked you through life. And it upset me, you know, even a glimpse of just a change at all. And they were fine. And then like, you know, Tessa went and got him. They came back to the green room and they're totally normal. But like there was this moment of, you know, me feeling their like frustration and like not really being able to navigate the situation. You just note little things. I mean, they're in their 70s and they still very much have it together, but you know that that's like coming down the line eventually. And you really just have to, yes, be more patient, be more understanding. Like your parents, as amazing as they may be, they just change from like, you know, their 50s or 60s into their like 70s and 80s even.
It's interesting to just watch it happen.
Yeah.
He was using this aerosol can to put sunscreen on and he was like spraying it really close to his arm, like 1 inch off of the arm, spraying it really hard and then rubbing it in. And I was like watching this happen for a while and I was like, do you not know how to use an aerosol can? And he was like, what do you mean? I was like, you know, you have to like back it up. Just back it up by like a foot and you'll get more surface area. And I was like making fun of him, but then I was like, maybe he doesn't remember how to use
Oh my
aerosol
God.
cans.
I mean, he's old.
Yeah, but I'm glad I got to have this time. It was nice to have him out here and have him see the house and see you and see the studio and all of that. So it was like just really a nice. And I mean, it's so rare that you get to spend one-on-one time with a parent without your sibling or somebody. So it was fun.
I mean, my parents still haven't visited, so Bill's winning right now.
Yeah, your mom
He's-
did back out that one time. Did you cancel on her? She back out. It was
No,
mutual.
no, I didn't cancel. I mean, it ended up not working out for a couple different reasons. She was supposed to come and then she wasn't able to, but I want them both to come out here together. I think in the winter. I mean, I feel like I have a lot of people that are on the East Coast. I'm like, let's just do winter when our tour is
Absolutely.
over. Not that there's any guarantees that it's warm out here.
What is
or that's
warm?
not raining, but still, it's still better than it will be on the East Coast.
Absolutely.
Well, famous last words. All right, let's wrap up our partners and then we will get into it with Candace. I am telling you about Nutrafol. This is a product that Rayna and I both use and that we love, and this is for your hair. So, did you know that hair thinning will happen to approximately 1 in 2 women? If you're among them, know that you're not alone. Thinning is totally normal. Nutrafol helps women address it from within with science-backed supplements. So, I mean, I've definitely noticed my hair being thinner and not as full as it used to be, and this is just something that happens over time, or that your hair isn't growing as fast as it used to, or whatever your issue is with. Nutrafol is here to help. I started taking it during the quarantine, actually, and definitely noticed a difference. Their hair growth supplements use drug-free ingredients to target root causes of thinning and promote healthy hair growth. And it is the #1 dermatologist recommended hair growth supplement, clinically shown to improve visible thickness and strength. Whatever you have going on, postpartum, menopause, no matter your life stage, they do have 4 different formulas to support women. They're unique, and each is physician formulated using drug-free, science-backed ingredients. So they really do target from within, and they have you covered for whatever you're going through in terms of your life stage. And because we love stats, we'll tell you that in a clinical study, 86% of women reported improved hair growth after taking Nutrafol, women's hair growth supplement, for 6 months. So it does take a little bit of time. I said this before that I really feel like I noticed a difference after just a few months, like 2-3 months, but it can really take up to 6 before you start to notice difference. So just stick with it. You're going to take your 4 capsules, 2 in the morning, 2 at night, no big deal. And you can take the first step to visibly thicker, healthier hair. For a limited time, Nutrafol is offering our listeners $10 off your first month subscription and free shipping when you go to Nutrafol.com and enter the promo code GGE. Find out why over 4,000 healthcare professionals recommend Nutrafol for healthier hair. Nutrafol.com, spelled Nutrafol.com, promo code GGE. That's Nutrafol.com, promo code GGE.
Yes, and last but not least, one of our most delicious partners. Take a bite out of summer with HelloFresh. HelloFresh brings chef-crafted seasonal recipe flavors right to your door, featuring quality proteins, fresh produce, and plans for many lifestyles. It's no wonder why HelloFresh is America's #1 meal kit. Go to HelloFresh.com/GGE50 and use the code GGE50 for 50% off plus free shipping. You guys have heard me talk about this so much. I think HelloFresh is so much fun. Any skill level is great. So if you're an experienced chef, I think you'll find a lot of really creative, fun recipes. They have up to 40 every week. They have stuff that's great for lunch, dinner, to snack on, stuff that's great for entertaining kids, quick and easy, vegetarian, really whatever you want, they have it. And you'll cut down on food waste and use step-by-step instructions to make cooking such a breeze. If you literally have no skill level in the kitchen, they make it so simple. And then you have these recipes in your arsenal to make again and again and rip off of. I'm just looking at what they have right now. Zucchini and sun-dried tomato risotto. Ugh, I love a risotto. And they'll walk you through how to make risotto. Chicken and mushroom cavatappi.
Anything cavatappi. And that is one of the ones that makes a lot.
It looks like a huge portion.
Yeah, like I'll have it for 2 meals and then still have a little left over.
Oh.
I did a pecan crusted chicken last night. I have black bean smashed tacos tonight. And then I have my chicken sausage and zucchini cavatappi for Sunday night pastas on Sunday.
Have you made HelloFresh for your man yet?
No, do you not know this whole story? When I was going to do that, when he came here and Kate shamed me. We were coming off Cabo and he was coming back here for one night. And I thought it would be cute to like have a normal night in after like all this stuff that we've done and just cook and hang out. And we were talking
Dazzle
about it
him in the kitchen.
in the car on the way home. And Kate was like, shut up. No, you're not. She's like, you better take him out and show him some things. I was like, we have just been partying nonstop.
That's true. He was in LA for one night.
Yes. And so I was so glad she called me out on it. So it's become this joke that like, I had Kate over last week to cook a HelloFresh meal. I cooked her the firecracker meatballs.
I didn't hear
and
from
he
you
was
for hours. I usually don't hear from you starting around 6:30 to 8:30.
So
she's doing her HelloFresh.
Well, yes, I had Kate over and he was like, oh, so you're allowed to cook for Kate, but not me. And I was like, I'm going to cook for you next time you come visit. We're not going to tell Kate.
When he lives here. When he lives here, you'll cook for him. When you need dinner fast, don't call delivery. Think HelloFresh. They have fast and fresh recipes already in 15 minutes or less. It is great for best friend night or date night or whatever else. Go to HelloFresh.com/GGE50 and use the code GGE50 for 50% off plus free shipping.
Okay.
Candace. Okay, guys, we are so excited to welcome this guest today. She is a critically acclaimed international best-selling best-selling author of over 10 books, including Lipstick Jungle, Four Blondes, and Sex and the City, which was the basis for the HBO hit series and 2 subsequent blockbuster movies. Recently, she wrote and performed and is currently performing in her one-woman show. Please welcome to the show the great Candace Bushnell.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi, guys.
We did it.
Yes, we're here.
This has been a journey to get here with you, but we're so glad to be talking to you today.
I think you really are a guest that needs no introduction. We introduce most guests, but I could have just been like, she created Sex and the City, and people would be like, oh my God. So you really are the voice of our generation.
Well, the voice of maybe a generation. Actually, I think a few generations,
I agree.
because there are just so many generations who watch Sex and the City. And I actually think it's a rite of passage for girls who are going to college.
That's when I started in college. Yeah.
Yes. It's like one of the things that they do, in their dorms. They get together and they
exactly my
watch
experience.
Sex in the City. It's a bonding experience.
It also is one of the first times I remember speaking to my mom about sex and dating when I was going to college. And my mom still brings it up that I would ask her questions like, what's it really like to date as an adult? It really opened up my conversations with her also.
Yes. Well, one of the things that's interesting, I think, about our parents is, my parents were married. They got married when they were in their early 20s, and they were married the whole time. So it's like they don't really know anything about dating in, today's world, or even dating, honestly, 30 or 40 years ago. Like really in the 80s, when there was a big sea change in terms of dating and what women could do. And, you guys are really the product of probably about 40 years that went before you. I know you feel like, oh, it's like the last, 10 years, because maybe you're 30, but no.
I just turned 40. So you were like on the nose with the last 40 years.
So, but these changes really started in the 70s and the 80s. And I think women today are beneficiaries of these changes and of, feminism, really, which is kind of a dirty word, but you wouldn't be sitting here with a podcast without feminism. So,
of course. We have shows like Sex and the City. I don't even know what I would compare it to. I wouldn't be who I am, and we wouldn't be here today without it, because I started watching it, like you said, in the dorm room at 18. And I already felt like I was open more than the average person. I also went to college in the South, but to talk about sex and experiment and sleep around, date around, I think it was life-changing in that way. And I wanted to ask you if you feel like you're the real life Carrie Bradshaw. Like, how do you feel about that? Is it a lot of pressure or do you just love it?
No, it's not a lot of pressure for me, because ever since I was a kid, I was super, super aware of sexism. And this is one of the things that I talk about in my one woman show. How at the age of 8, back in, I guess, like the late 60s, I was a feminist. And I knew that there was something that was like really, really wrong in the messages that society was telling women about what we could and couldn't do, and who we could and couldn't be. And back then, if you were a woman, really your only way to access the income stream, like the only way you could have a roof over your head, was through a man. If you came from a rich family, yes, that would really be the exception. But other than that, women were really, really reliant on men for their survival. Yes, women had jobs, but you had a low-level job. Even in the 80s in New York, women were in the workforce, but you could not really make enough money to survive without kind of a supplemental income from a man. And, that's what the income disparity between men and women is really all about. It's like, hey, I can't afford to, buy my own apartment unless there's a man attached. And that's a problem.
Sure.
changed a lot.
It changed so drastically. That must feel pretty nice.
Yeah. And I want to talk
Yeah,
about
so-
your professional work that changed that, because very much so, Carrie Bradshaw is what mobilized me after college to move to New York City. I was going to be her. I was going to date like her and do the same kind of work that she did. But really, you're the original Carrie Bradshaw, and you are such a pioneer. Like, you broke the mold in terms of like what you wrote about and where women could work. Can we talk about it a little bit?
Well, yes. And I mean, I was always like such a big believer in women and women being independent and not being reliant on a man. And when I was in my 30s, which was when I wrote Sex in the City, I had so many girlfriends who were in their 30s, who were single, and they had jobs, they had careers, they could afford their own apartment. And there was really a feeling of empowerment. And that was something that you see in the first two seasons of Sex in the City. You see this women like, they don't really care. They are out there. They're a team, like in real life. And this is a character who I wrote about in the book Sex in the City and appeared on Sex in the City. This friend of mine, I called her Amelita Amalfi. And in the series, they made her kind of a little bit of a transactional sex worker. But in real life,
I know the character.
Yeah, she wasn't like that in real life, but she was really about, we are a team, we are women in New York City, we've got to look out for each other, we've got to bond together. So it was really that feeling. And then every time like somebody got married and they had kids, I was like, ugh, you gave in.
I mean,
We lost another one.
I know. It
Yeah.
was like we lost another one. Like, why? Why would you do that? Why wouldn't you like fight and have your career and all that? But you know what? I'm really, really in the minority, which is something that I realized as time went on.
Yeah, I mean, you were really ahead of your time. This is how we think. Neither of us want children. I'm a hard no. Rayna is
A waiver.
But I have never wanted children. I have newly started dating somebody and I have no desire to get married. But he's like, I'm interested in marriage. I'm like, fine, whatever, maybe. Like, we'll talk about it. So for you to feel like that 20 years ago, whatever it was, it must have been like, I'm a freak. Like, what is going on? Or you find like-minded people too that feel the same way.
But you know what? The thing about New York City back then was that everybody came to New York City because you would find other people who were like you.
Yeah.
And if you were, I mean, you could name whatever, but basically the most simple thing was if you were gay, I mean, you were never going to fit into your small town and you came to New York City and you would find, a whole group of people who felt the same way. And so that's what being in New York City felt like. You didn't feel like a freak.
Totally. Yeah.
Because you found like your people who had the same ideas and who were pioneers, etc. And that's what being in the city was about. And then I think through, for instance, like Sex in the City, that idea, spread out there to different places as well. And it just became much more acceptable.
I like jokingly say like you feel like a freak, but to me it's almost like I think I'm the one that has it right. Like, there's a part that's like I think I know something people don't. Like I have this whole thing of like I just want to like live in the same neighborhood as my partner. We just have like houses that are nearby. Like why do I want to share a bed with a man or a closet? That seems insane. So I have these things where I'm like, everyone should feel like this, right? And then people are like, not really.
I know. Well, actually, when I first got married, my husband and I, we didn't live together and it was great. It was like,
that's the secret.
Need to. It's, it seems fine. We live 20 blocks from each other.
Perfect.
It's easy.
Candace, can we talk about how you met your husband? Because it is an amazing story.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, it is one of the stories that I tell in my one woman show.
Okay.
And I did that thing that people were always telling single women to do. I mean, this was like before the dating apps. Now people are like, go on a dating app. Back then, people said, go out by yourself. Like that was what they told single women to do to meet a man. Like go out by yourself. And so I did that. And I mean, I literally looked across the room, and this guy was trying to fix me up with the man who became my husband.
Oh,
And
okay.
so I was looking for him, he was looking for me. And then we saw each other and we locked eyes. And I was like, I'm going to marry this guy. And I never believed any of that romantic stuff. Like, oh, when
Yeah.
you know. I'm like, oh, shut up. But it actually was true. And we were married for 10 years and, it was great.
And you
But
got married really quickly, right?
yes, we got married really quickly. I think we got married after it was like 2 months.
Love it.
But you know what? My feeling is you got to make a decision. I mean, that's part of it. Like, that's part of life is making a commitment. The worst thing you can do is not make a decision. If you make a decision, you will be like 80% right. If you don't make a decision, you're going to be like 80% wrong. So, they've done a lot of studies. The biggest thing to do is to just make a decision, stick to it.
Yeah.
So, that was my feeling. And I really wanted to find somebody who felt the same way and could do that. So, it worked. I mean, I would do it again. I don't know. I sort of don't get like people are engaged for 6 years. It's like, okay.
Right. Well, unless you're just like, I don't know, I want to wear the ring and never get married. But we say this a lot too, because you see, and plenty of characters in Sex and the City too are men that always think they're going to find better. And it's like the next best thing syndrome. And in New York, they can more so than any other place. So there's such a discrepancy between men and women in the first place, or disparity rather. And so men are like, I don't know, I could find her only like 10% hotter. And so they just never stop. And one of the messages that we spread, but also have male guests on, is just at some point, if you want to be in a relationship, you have to stop and decide to commit. Like, no one will tell you to. You have to decide that this is it and I'm going to commit to this. We read the New Yorker article that we love so much. And I think you said you put on it some dress or something, like you had a feeling you were going to meet someone that night.
Yes, I did. I had a feeling that I was going to meet someone. And, I mean, that's happened to me like more than once in my life. I've gone out and I've had a feeling that I'm going to meet somebody. And, unfortunately now I have a feeling I'm going to meet somebody and I don't. But I don't know, like maybe I've lost my sort of mojo thing of being in tune with the universe, but I really did have a feeling that I was going to meet somebody. One of the realities of, heterosexual men and women is that a lot of it depends on the numbers. Like, what is the ratio of men to women? And in New York City, the ratio of heterosexual single women to men is something like for every 100 women, there are 80 men.
Yeah, it's like 3-2. We had an episode about the actual stats.
Yes. Now, on the other hand, if you go to Aspen, there are way more men than women. And I'm telling you.
With money.
The rich guys.
Yes. And when there are more men than women, the average woman, her attractiveness goes up about 5 points.
To 100%. That's what they said about Seattle too. Like, you're like, these women can just walk in and
I'm rock solid in Seattle.
Overall,
yes.
No makeup and have their pick.
Pittsburgh, forget it. I'm the hottest shit that ever walked down the street.
But, New York City is a place where it's like every girl who was the prettiest girl in their hometown goes to New York City or LA.
Yeah, it's like the Harvard of cities. It's unfair.
So funny. It is the prettiest girl. It's everyone who peaked from their hometown.
I talk about it constantly. It's like the most beautiful women you've ever seen.
So, Candace, what's your life like now? And I'm just curious. I mean, you're in the Hamptons as we speak. You have your one-woman show. Do you have a great circle of girlfriends? Like, I'm just curious.
When are you going to be on the Real Housewives of New York?
How you're living.
Okay.
Well, you know what? It's summer in the Hamptons. So, I mean, honestly, there are a lot of parties. And I go to a lot of parties and events, and I like doing it. And it's very, very social. like, New York City is very social. And it, it really wasn't like that since the pandemic. And even last year, it was like, but now, I mean, this year, everybody's like, oh my God. It's like you've got 5 parties or events every night. And, it's fun. So I think this is a time when, I mean, who knows if like the world is ending, but it seems like people are going out, they're having fun. It's very social. It's summer. There's also a writer's strike and an actor's strike.
Right.
So it's like, I mean, I guess I could be writing another book, but I'm like, there's a writer's strike.
Yeah, it sounds like you're just enjoying yourself. And for people who don't know, you never had children, right?
No.
But it sounds like your life is really full of friends and activities. And
it is. I mean, I feel very busy, and I'm doing a show out here in a couple of weeks. So, part of going out is spreading the word about the show. It's all publicity. So, yeah, that's one of the things that I'm doing. And, we'll see after the writer's strike
Yeah,
what I'm working
really
on.
crazy.
I mean, I imagine I'll be working on probably a couple of things. But, at the moment, it's like I'm just trying to go with the flow.
One of our huge things is just like the power of female friendship. And these are the relationships that are going to outlast your romantic relationships potentially. And it's truly the most important thing in both of our lives. And you really saw that in Sex and the City and the other works that you've created. And is that how you live your life too?
It really is. And, I have a lot of women friends, and some of my friends are, I mean, they're now the OG Real Housewives, like, Luann and Ramona. And, it's like we go out sometimes. It's super fun. They are great girls. Like Ramona has a ton of girlfriends. I mean,
loves
there
her
are
birthday
just
parties. Yeah.
yes, but I mean, it really is true that as a woman, you have a lot of friends, and there's a lot of bonding with women and all of that. So it's a real thing. I don't know a lot of women who are really focused on a guy or their relationships. I hate to say it, but
We love to hear it. And honestly, we were in a business meeting one day and somebody said to us, your show is about dating, love, sex, relationships, but it really is about your friendship. It's about the two of you and you've built, and Ashley and I really are like family. We have so many friends in common. And that really was, how you wrapped up Sex in the City, was like maybe the true love stories here are each other. And
yes, that's absolutely true.
The show is about sex in the city and meeting men and having relationships, but really the true story is about friendship. And so I was like proud to, emulate that too.
Yeah. And women just do a better job once they do get in a relationship. And I grew up with my parents. They've been married 45 years and my mom has more girlfriends than I do. She has all these groups. She travels all the time without my dad. Like she has a whole ass life of girlfriends, women friends, just like 72.
Yes.
But we hear just men say all the time they start to lose their male friends when everyone gets married, and we find it sad. Like who says, it's not that the wife demands this, it just sort of happens that way. They drift apart and women get closer and they're able to have these relationships. And you see these even movies like Book Club or whatever it is, when it's just in your like 70s, 80s, 90s, 80 for Brady. That's like real life. And you don't see it with men. And we just feel really lucky that that's going to be our truth as well.
Yes. Well, people feel like there is kind of a little bit of a crisis with men.
I believe that. Yeah.
I mean, there's like the loneliness factor and all of that. And I mean, a lot of that is men. And, the other thing that I think people don't realize is that 86% of women have children. So if you're a woman and you don't have kids, you're kind of an outlier. It takes a lot of guts to not have kids. But for men, that number is like 60%.
Oh.
So there's really a huge number of men who don't have kids, don't have those connections and don't have the friendships and all of that. So, I mean, you could be easily attacked online for not having kids. You know, people are like, cat lady, and oh, look, she made a big mistake. It's like, why don't you worry about the men who don't have kids? Okay. Like, that's the problem.
Right.
Right. What are they living for?
I know.
Exactly.
So do you date? Are you dating? Is it on your radar? What do you do? I'm just you
I'm
have to tell
on
us.
dating apps. I'm on like 3 dating apps, but there's really only one that I go on. And I don't know. It's like I've gone out with 2 people who I've met on dating apps, which is ridiculous because I have like all these connections. You know, I have like 40 guys. You know, I guess I could go out with them. I don't know.
Is it hard to find somebody who like Ramona and Luann have not also dated? Like in this
Yes. It actually is because I don't know about, well, Harry, I love Harry, but you know, I'm not going to date him. But you know, he's super nice.
Yeah, he's been through
Whatever.
everybody.
But yes. Well, first of all, the crazy thing about dating apps is I've seen like so many guys who I know and so many ex-boyfriends, you know, people you've already dated are on these dating
It's like
apps.
you're
And
like Samantha Jones.
It's
just
insular.
you're starting
Yes,
to see
but-
the repeats.
but everybody says this. They're like, you know, on dating apps, you see people you've already dated. And even before dating apps, like in New York City, I mean, listen, everybody went out with the same guys. You know, it's like everybody went out with the same 5 guys. I think I said that in the book, Sex in the City. And, you know, somebody said, like, are there rules about like you can't date somebody who your friend dated? It's like, no,
We
forget
wouldn't
it.
be able
There
to
would be
date if those were the
there'd be
rules.
nobody to date.
I
Yeah.
know. How
Nobody
many
to
men
date.
are like of an income bracket in the Upper East Side and have houses in the Hamptons and they're the appropriate age? Like it's a small group.
Well, I just think that you
But-
don't seem like a dating app person. And that's coming from 2 people who are not dating app people as well. Like you have this
Well-
big personality. I feel like you are probably better meeting people in the wild, which is how we are.
90% of the people I meet, I do meet going out,
Totally.
you know, to parties, etc. And that's like one of the things about New York is like there are places to go out where you can meet people. You know, if you're in a little town in the Midwest, where you're going, you know, you're going to go to the local bar, you're going to see the same people. But in New York City, people are social, they go out, they talk to each other. And one of the things that I've noticed is like since the pandemic, people are not on their phones. Like if you are out, you're out. You are not looking at your phone like every 2 minutes. You are pretty much engaged with your environment and who's there because I think people realize like, hey, this could go away. So, but yes, I meet, you know, a lot of people just going out.
But did I read this? Were you dating some like 20-year-old or was that a rumor?
Oh, no. Listen, I've gone out with guys ranging from 21 to 91.
Who fucks better? 21-year-olds or
I-
91-year-olds?
What's the
Well,
best
I
age
didn't-
range?
I didn't have sex with either one of them because I was like, one is like too old, and the other one was like, he was like a model.
Yeah, the model. I read about this.
And he was super, super tall. He was like actually 6'8". It's like, I don't know what's happening with young people, but you're too big. You're just
I used to
too tall.
sleep with this guy that was 6'8". He was really skinny though. It was
This guy was so skinny. Oh my God.
Can't wait at that height. There's no chance.
that's true. It's tough.
God.
That's crazy.
Tough to put
He
on the
was-
5
pounds.
feet tall, different story.
I mean, he was so thin, and actually, I was scared for him. I was like so worried. I was like, dude, I
Did
don't
we
even
date
know
the
if you
same
could
guy?
afford
Me
to
and Candace.
eat.
We dated the same guy.
Probably.
He's 29 now.
Probably.
Does that line up? Pretty funny guy. Does not eat.
You see, it's a small world. So, I mean, it's all interesting, and I honestly think it's all kind of material. But you know, it'd be nice to be in love with somebody. I mean, I think that's the feeling that I haven't had. Like when I was younger, it just seemed like it was so easy to find someone and be in love with them. And now it's like, no, I don't know.
It's hard. And then, you know, the more
I mean,
set in
maybe
your
it
ways
works for
get,
you guys.
I want to sit at home and read books every day.
So I'm newly dating somebody. It's serious. I feel
Yeah,
like
that's
this is
great.
the real deal. I know that it is. And he feels the same way. And before that, it's been 6 years since I was in a relationship. But it's also when your life is really great, the bar is really high. And when you are having so much fun, alone or with your friends or traveling or with your pet, whatever it is, someone needs to enhance your life to bring them into it and commit to them.
I'm sure you
Yes.
relate because you sound like your life is so full. You have all these friends and all these invitations, and to want to fold somebody into that, it has to be pretty convincing.
But you know, I also feel like somehow people are busier. I don't know if you guys feel that way, but there's so many distractions and so many
Mhm.
things you could do that you want to do that you don't necessarily like. It used to be if you weren't in a relationship, it was like, oh, what am I going to do? I'm sitting at home alone. Now you're watching Netflix, you're on TikTok. I mean, I've done like so many Barbie filters on like
I
me and
know.
my dogs. Like I'm obsessed with that Barbie filter. I'm like, it's so pretty. I wish I looked like this in real life. You know, I wish I was just like AI. But you know, there's just so many things to do. And then guys are always doing gaming, which is something that I don't not
Well,
gonna do.
that
But
makes a lot of sense. You know, we have a guy friend that's a comedian and he's so funny. And what is this thing? Is like, you have to be better for me to get off the couch with Netflix to go out with. Like, you're up against what we didn't used to have. You used to have
right,
like the shows that were on at the time they were on. And after that, your night was over. We have too many options at home alone that it's like you used to be way more motivated to go out and meet people when you didn't have the entire TV catalog of all time,
right.
plus TikTok, plus Instagram, plus filters, plus sexy selfies, plus all your self-care, which is a newer word. Like there is so much to do alone. So
But also, it's gotten cooler to do stuff alone in the world. People go see movies by themselves. They
Yes.
go to
Right.
comedy shows. We tell people to come to our show by themselves, go out to eat, sit at a bar by yourself. Like, you don't need another person to do anything anymore. We've normalized going to do all these things alone, too. I mean,
we brought
I'm
this on ourselves.
never bored. I am constantly engaged 24 hours a day unless I'm asleep.
Yes. I mean, I keep saying to people like the future is it's like the future's single, you know. I mean,
God
in a
damn it, I
lot of
fucked this up.
ways, at one time 50 years ago, it was hard to be single. Like now there's, you know, I mean, soup for one, but it used to be that you couldn't do all these things by yourself. Now
Mhm.
there's just everything is created for, in a lot of ways, a solo existence. And it's interesting that given the choice, a lot of people opt for that. You know, they
Mhm.
don't mind being alone and, you know, they're not lonely. But
Right,
I mean,
right.
I think about it a lot because, you know, Ashley is recently in this relationship, and my other really good single friend here is in a relationship now. And a lot of my friends are, so I'm like, I guess I have to get a boyfriend. So annoying. But I really enjoy my life day to day. Like yesterday, I worked and I took a walk. I cooked a really nice meal for myself. I read a book. Like I planned this trip I'm doing in Italy. Like I had a really nice day. And I kept thinking to myself, my homework today is to go on a dating app. My homework today is to get on there and talk to one person. I cannot go to sleep before I do it. But I had this amazing day and I got in bed at like 10:30. I watched 30 minutes of a comedy special and I fell asleep. And it's just like, I don't want to hit the pause button on all of these amazing things, but like, I'd like to get fucked a little bit more. So that would be nice. And
There's always that.
if I never leave my house, I mean, I would fuck my neighbor. So he could actually literally find me in my home. But other than that, I do have to find somebody, but I'm just like, I don't want to hit the pause button on the fun that I'm having with me.
yes, I get it. I get it. I mean, I have this theory that it's probably pretty easy to find sex, not easy to find a relationship.
Yeah.
Yes.
But it seems like, you know, if you want to find sex, you know, there are people out there who are, that's easy to find. But I think it's harder to find a relationship.
Yeah, I could fuck anything. I just,
Right.
that's not that
Okay.
fun for me. You know,
Yeah.
I'm at the point in my life where I've had enough sex with enough people that I would like to have an emotional connection after we come. You
Right,
know?
exactly.
Yeah.
Well, I hate to be like such a basic bitch, but I am one. So can we talk a little bit about Sex and the City and the characters, the archetypes, the main
Sure.
relationship? What do you want to start with? The big relationship or Maria?
Yeah, the big relationship, you know, it's been dissected for the past decade plus of we thought this was what we all wanted, and now you're like, this isn't healthy, or this is, not what we should be looking for. And we just would love to know your thoughts on it.
Well, I have to say, like, one of the differences between me and the audience is like a lot of people in the audience, they've watched those episodes again and again and again, and they've dissected them. And I haven't done that. I mean, I've probably watched each episode maybe 3 times, or, maybe 4 times.
That's enough.
And I never really dissected it. I mean, it's something that I didn't discuss with my friends, because in a way, like, our lives are Sex in the City. And the other issue is, it's like, I know too much. I mean, I've worked in TV. I've had 3 TV shows, Lipstick Jungle and the Carrie Diaries. I've written a lot of novels, and like, creatively, you make a lot of decisions. I
I
mean,
see what you're saying.
like, one of the reasons why, and I talk about this in my stage show, one of the reasons why Mr. Big was still around was because the audience really was crazy about Mr. Big. Remember when he marries somebody else at the end of the 2nd season? And I thought, well, that's it. But it turned out they did tests. And the audience was crazy about Mr. Big, and they wanted to see more of him.
Wow.
So the writing then is around, it's not real life. It's driven by what the audience wants. Like, we're going to give the audience more of what they want. And like, the whole Mr. Big thing, people invested a lot of time in that relationship. And does it make sense creatively that they're going to split up after 6 years, after the audience has put so much time into it? No, because the audience is going to be disappointed, and they're going to be pissed off. Witness what happened when they killed off Mr. Big. And just like that, the audience was furious because they invested so much time into that relationship. And I think so many women felt like finding your Mr. Big is a goal. I mean, to me, I always say, and I say this in my show, I didn't want to find Mr. Big. I wanted to be Mr. Big. And, that was what drove Lipstick Jungle. And, and Lipstick Jungle, the women were super, super successful. And the show should have been, it was as good as Sex in the City.
I loved it.
And it should have been 6 seasons like Sex in the City. But I think the bottom line is that the reality is, for women, it's a fuck hard to be a CEO and make your own money. And it's a lot easier to find a Mr. Big. And the reality is that if you look at the statistics of the 1%, people who are in the 1%, the percentage of women in the 1% who made their own money is less than 4%. And that's the sad reality of the world that we live in. And, I thought, what? Women out there, they're like me. They want to be successful. They want to buy their own house. They want to afford to buy their own shoes. They want to be in charge of their own lives. And that was Lipstick Jungle. And I feel like I was wrong, that actually most women, they want to find Mr. Big because it's easier. It's easier to find Mr. Big and rely on a guy than it is to make your own money. Because when you do that, you're going up against all kinds of sexism, and you're, in a sense, going up against society. I mean, society still comes down really hard on the career woman. And, that's the reality of the time that we live in. So to me, that's the message of Mr. Big. Now, I've been with very successful guys. And when you're with a successful guy, you are secondary to them. But that's okay for a lot of women. It's not okay for me. But that's the way most women are kind of trained to be. Because it's like, I live in the Hamptons, and I promise you, there's so much money out here, and there's so much income disparity. And I know so many women who live in these huge houses. I can tell you that the women who earned their own money and bought that big house themselves is zero.
I mean, the stats are right. And you're exactly right in that, like, first of all, like, we are the women that make a bunch of money and have done it,
Live in the big house,
and
pay for it ourselves.
Right, exactly.
and we know so many women want that. And so we also have created this podcast to really hopefully inspire and motivate. But to your point, it's like, if you're nowhere close to that and you haven't chosen a life that's going to lead you to that, it's really hard to dream of that. So you can dream of the rich man. So if your goal in life is to have the big house in the Hamptons and have all the shoes and things like that, you're like, there's no way I could achieve that on my own. Not that that's the truth, but that's the mindset. So you're right. The fantasy becomes Mr. Big to give you the life that you want.
And, women have been, we've been sold a romantic fantasy, since the beginning of time. Because in a way, for the longest time for women, that was your only option. When you get to people who are making like 60,000 a year or 75,000 a year, there's a much higher percentage of women who are the breadwinners of their family. And in fact, it's like 40% of women are the breadwinners for their family. So that's,
I see what you mean.
Right. Again, I said this to you before we started recording. I really loved your thoughts on wealth disparity and how it's changed since like the 90s even, and it's shitty. And so I encourage people to read kind of your thoughts and how your thoughts have even changed over time as we watch this gap grow.
Mm-hmm.
But I just have to say that Harry and Steve and Smith and those three relationships changed my life and the way that I look at, like, take Carrie and Big out of it. Those three sent such important messages that I have like carried with me through life. And so my goal was never to be Carrie and Big. My goal was always like Samantha. That's probably why I've dated younger guys than I am now. But those messages that they sent were so important. Like, we don't need to get into it. If you've seen the show,
No,
but
I want to
Charlotte and Harry and Miranda and Steven, like, find someone that like thinks the world of you, and it may not be the person you thought they were going to look like this, and you're going to have the best sex of your life with this short bald guy, and like just everything that those three messages sent were so integral in my dating life.
And I want to go back to one thing you said before we move on, because alternately, what we romanticized growing up was this relationship with Big. But ultimately, like you're saying, you meet a man like that, you will always be second best. He will always pick the money. He will always pick the career. He has options and he exercises them. How many times does he just kick her to the curb for another woman, moves to California and says goodbye? That doesn't mean you can't meet a man with a ton of money who's successful that won't put you first. But we've romanticized this idea.
I pretty much will tell you that 99% that ain't going to happen.
Yeah, I think we romanticize this relationship.
Because there's a mindset. I think this is something we don't consider, but there's a very particular mindset of a man who is very successful. And, that person is super, super competitive. They're really competitive with other men. They're very interested in like what other men have to say. Women are really accessories. And, those are the personality traits of the very, very successful man. And
exceptions to every rule, but you're probably not going to be the exception to the rule. So across the board, it's like women sometimes don't stop to think that of like what goes with all of that money, success, and power, and flying private and vacations, like what actually comes with it. Cause it's really not Disney Prince Charming reality.
No, it isn't. I hate to say this, but look at Jeffrey Epstein.
Hopefully they won't also be having sex with teenagers, but
that's extreme example, but we get it.
I like this notion of like, you find these people, there are big trade-offs. You want somebody that makes all this money, successful. Is he around? Steve was home every night after his little bartending job,
and Miranda, she had her career and she had her power. I agree with you. I think that those were really good relationships. And, I always say this, when you get older, here's the thing, when people get older, they become a lot less attractive. And
not us,
it's like other people. Everybody looks like Harry. Okay. And Harry looks pretty freaking good. So
I don't know. He's like coming on Charlotte's tits on And Just Like That. I don't need to see it.
Can we don't have too much longer with you, but can we talk about And Just Like That? And we know you're not involved, and we want to make that so clear to our audience, because our audience knows how we feel. And
I'm not involved, but they pay me. So I'm like, I love the show.
But the real tea,
No,
It's different. It's so different.
is it interesting for you to watch these characters? I mean, my main criticism of the show is that you wrote these 4 women that are the most cosmopolitan, forward-thinking, incredible women that like they all broke the mold. And this show sort of opens up as though they've been frozen in time and they don't really know what gay people are or trans people or any alternate lifestyles at all. It's not accurate.
Again, people make like on a TV show, they make creative decisions for a lot of different reasons.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I can promise you, they spend a lot of time working on those scripts. And they spend a lot of time in the writer's room, like discussing this. It's like, I'm not there. I'm not privy. I know a couple of the writers and, they're great. I love them. They're great. It's like, I know Michael Patrick King and, he's a great guy. And he's also, they're super talented.
Yeah.
So it is what it is. And it has, TV shows have their own logic. It has its own world with its own rules. So, I mean, I like the show. I'm enjoying it. And I think it's fun. I mean, I don't actually even mind Che Diaz. Everyone like hates Che, but I'm like, I like Che.
I guess my issue is like there's this moment when they're at the Comedy Store and the closing joke is so bad. And I'm a stand-up comedian and the Comedy Store is right down the street. And I'm like, they couldn't hire one comedian to just write a decent closer. It's like all the comedians are talking about this online and we're like, let's just give the Comedy Store some street cred at the very least.
That's Ashley's problem, the bits.
Yes.
That's so funny.
There. I mean, and we've had Greg Barrett on the show who was a contributor with Sex and the City and is a stand-up. And it's just like, let's get some real comedians in the room. I don't know what's going on over there. And we're watching it every week, of course, but it's a different show, which it is. It has a whole different name. So we have to accept that.
It's a different show and I think they wanted it to be a different show. I mean, the other thing I'm going to say is, we have to remember like Sex and the City started out, it was small. Like the pilot and the first 2 episodes were directed by Susan Seidelman, who directed Desperately Seeking Susan. And, it was like a dark underground movie. It's like, it didn't quite know what was going on. Like, what is this? Who are these people? It was like, when I watched the pilot, it's like, it's
wild,
so like grainy and
they talk to the camera,
like shadowed. They talk to the camera, and so it started off. It was small, and now when you do these things, you're on streaming and you're aiming to get like 100 million people, which is it's such a different animal, and they've got hundreds of extras and the setups and this and that. It's like, I mean, I feel like I could never do that. Like Darren Star can do it with Emily in Paris, but it's like, it's a totally different animal.
Interesting. Yeah.
It's actually very, very different. Sex and the City started small and it evolved. Like you can't start small now. There's no small.
Right.
That's a great call.
You gotta be big. You've got to have the sets. You've got to, it looks a certain way. You've got like huge costumes.
Film at the Whitney.
Yes. You got to film at the Whitney. It's like a totally different animal. So I respect it. I mean, I'm like, I could never do that. I wouldn't even know where to get started. So
it just makes me nostalgic. Just the good old days, the 90s, mid to late 90s. Yeah, it is very funny. It'd be funny to actually take a Sex and the City pilot compared to an Emily in Paris pilot. It's just like
yes,
times
exactly.
Have changed. Budget wise, geez.
Yes. I mean, like think about that. So and, I mean, I have to say, like, Darren Star and Michael Patrick King, they've been working in TV for a long time.
Yeah.
And you know what? It's not that easy. It's not that easy.
Yeah. I want to say to you that you, like, I don't say this to a lot of guests. You changed my life. You, like, motivated me to move to New York, and you changed millions of women's lives. So thank you for what you created. Really, you informed my entire dating life and why I moved to New York, and Ashley too.
Everything. Yeah. It was, what was it recently? 25, 30 years? There was this anniversary of it.
The 25 years for the show.
Right. For the show. And it just, I remember posting on my social
media.
Started
in 1998.
Yeah. And I was just like,
crazy.
This changed my life. This made me be who I am. I can't imagine my life without it. And it's an honor to have you join us today. Can you plug everything and tell people where they can see the one woman show? And
Well, yes, my one woman show, I actually changed the title because people were like, what is there still Sex in the City? So I changed it to True Tales of Sex, Success, and Sex in the City. So
Love
it's
it.
really about how I created Sex in the City, how hard I worked to get there, why I invented Carrie Bradshaw, and what happened to me afterward. And we also play a little game, Real or Not Real, because everything that happened on the TV show is better or worse than my real life. And
So fun.
it's super, super fun. I've gotten such a great response. Like people are like, I love the show.
Mhm.
And it's a new thing for me being on stage, but I'm loving doing it. And you can go to my Instagram, which is Candace Bushnell, and go into the link tree, or you can go to my website, www.candacebushnell.com.
Okay.
Where I'm going to
Well,
be.
We
So,
can't wait to be there in LA in January.
Yeah.
yes, that would be great.
Or if we're in New York,
So-
we'll see it. I'm just
To see it in
dying
New
to
York
see it.
would be
Yeah, I feel like
fun.
we have to see it in New York. Rayna, come on, be real. We're not going to see it.
Yes. Well, I'm actually going to do it in New York at a place called Green Room 42. I'm going to do 5 performances like October 12th through, I think, 17th.
Okay.
So it's
We'll
like a
try to be
great
there.
thing. You bring your girlfriends, you have fun, you have some Cosmos. It's great.
Oh yeah, the Cosmos. All right. Well, this was so wonderful, and we can't thank you enough.
Thank you so much.
Thank you guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay, we hope you all enjoyed that interview, and you know where to find us, girlsgottaeat.com, and you can get tickets to our tour. It is starting soon in the fall, and you can follow us on both Instagram and TikTok at Girls Gotta Eat Podcast. I am Ash Hess on everything. Rayna is Rayna.Greenberg, and Vibes Only, we mentioned we're going to have that sale for National Orgasm Day, so hit vibesonly.com and grab that threesome bundle, and then you can follow Vibes Only on Instagram as well. Subscribe to YouTube, leave a 5-star review, tell a friend, and we'll see you next week.
Have a good week, guys.
Bye.